The following is a presentation of The Day.
From Florida to Texas to California to Maine, heck, all the way into Nova Scotia, it's Friday night, and that can mean only one thing: Friday night lights and the football that comes along with it. And this year in the ECC, we've got new coaches, new fields, and teams with new names. And tonight, we highlight one of those as the Ledyard Colonels at 1-1 come in to play the Montville Wolves, also at 1-1, and all the action is live on Game Day. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health, solutions for all your dental needs. All that is good begins with a smile. When you visit our office, your smile is our top priority. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the personalized dental care that you deserve, so visit waterforddentalhealth.com. Casey O'Neill, along with the coach, Pasta Santabria, and he's going to get some used to saying it, but the Wolves are here tonight hosting the Ledyard Colonels. Both teams come in at 1-1, and this is another one of those early season tests to find out where each team stands.
Definitely. I practiced all week, and I'm prepared to say the Wolves throughout the course of the game.
Mike Saricchio brings his Ledyard Colonels in. It's his third season, and Tanner Grove, in his 18th year here at Montville, is now a fixture in the ECC. Ledyard will kick off going right to left in the road white uniforms. Montville will have the ball first. Back deep, Dante Crispin is back for the Wolves as they're in the home black and orange. And we're about to get it underway as the sun is setting over Montville High School and football is about ready to begin. Colonels lost week 1, won week 2. Montville the other way around. They won week 1 and lost week 2. And we'll talk all about the ECC action that we have seen thus far. Whistle blows. And the kick punched into the middle of the field. Taken by the Wolves at the 20-yard line. Crossing the 30 and brought down there. Isaiah Yard to the 40-yard line, where Montville will set up shop 1st and 10. Junior quarterback Aiden Johnson will lead the Wolves.
Isaiah Yard with return.
And they showed a lot of offense in the week 1 26-6 win over Lewis Mills. Last week, the offense actually turned the ball over more than a few times, led to some Waterford scores. That's going to be something we're going to see them looking to correct here in the early going.
Definitely have to improve that to make this game really competitive.
Riley Byer, one of his favorite targets, wide left. Johnson on 1st down. Handoff goes to Aponte, and a swarming Colonel defense rushes to the ball. No gain on 1st down.
No gain on the
Definitely
play.
some sizable Ledyard
10.
Colonel linemen there that are playing in the front, and it's going to be a good action in the front line. That gridiron battle is going to be a key component to how this game is going to entail with momentum as well as control of the game.
Ledyard replacing most of its skill position players off of a playoff team from last year. The line is actually one of the more veteran groups that they have. Their line, though young, has been playing together for a while. Remember the name Miles Streckvis? He'll be called a lot on that defensive side of things. So 2nd and 10 for the Wolves. Motion, and Johnson hands it off. Bouncing outside and very little gain. The Colonels again swarming to the football.
One of the important things that we want defensive linemen to do is to bench press that offensive lineman off them, and what Ledyard's doing right now is that basic fundamental 2-step punch and extend so they can get into the gap and make a play. Great effort by that front line.
We'll see a number of different backs touch the ball for Montville. That was Colin Wall. It's going to bring up 3rd and long, and while Johnson does throw a nice ball, the 3rd and longs is where Montville has gotten themselves into trouble, teams knowing that they're going to be throwing the ball here on 3rd down. Johnson gets some pressure, but launches it deep and just over the outstretched arms of his target, Arian Castillo.
Pass intended for Castillo.
Good ball, and the protection held up well,
Yeah.
but incomplete, and Montville will punt.
Well, the D-backs did a great job there. They were matched up man-to-man, and then they were trying to run a little wheel route, X kind of under and wheel, but those cornerbacks jammed them right inside, disrupted the route, and that's where the timing went off.
Cole Turney will come in to punt it away for the Wolves, and Jamel Curse is the punt returner standing back at his own 35-yard line. So 3 and out for the Wolves. Snap is low, but bounces right to Turney, gets it off with pressure. Great job, and it takes a huge Wolves bounce into the 20-yard line where it'll be down. So a great job by Turney, both fielding the punt and getting it off with heavy pressure. It may have been tipped, but it got all the way to the 20-yard line, and that's where Ledyard will set up shop.
After the Cole Turney punt, the Ledyard takes over first down and 10. From their own 20-yard line.
Jackson Hayward, big game for the Colonels last week. We'll see whose name we call, but Curse, a dangerous player, and Hayward, the backs for Ledyard. Curse is under center. Gives it to Hayward, who bounces off of a tackler, but not much there. Good job left side of the Montville D. Jack Babukis with the tackle for Montville.
Seems like both defense wants to establish themselves this first series and let them know that they're not going to take anything from the offense.
A name to highlight on that Montville D. You're going to hear a lot about him. He's only a freshman, but Dimitri Charles plays both sides of the line, number 77. Look at the size of this kid as a freshman. Bright future there for sure.
Definitely.
Curse on 2nd and 9. Again, gives the ball to Hayward. Hayward breaks into the secondary. Huge gain, crosses midfield into Wolves territory. A big gain on 2nd down, and Ledyard turns over the field and gets into Montville side of things.
Definitely a good call where the offensive line zoned into the strong side, and then running back saw that the backside contain guy was overrunning it, made a cutback, and there was the hole for a good run.
And that's the kind of big play that has plagued Montville last week against Waterford. If you watch the highlights of that game, it seems like every time Waterford scored, it was on a big play, either a big offensive play or a defensive score.
Yes, yeah.
So Montville did a nice job down after down, but give up a big pop here and there, and that's what they really have to contain tonight against Ledyard, who started to look a little more explosive last week against Weaver. Curse under center here on 1st down, right at midfield. Ball is loose, and it's going to be recovered by the Wolves.
Fumble on the play. Recovered by
Great
the Wolves.
opportunity for the Wolves right now. This is what they need to kind of keep that offense on that positive side of the field.
From their own 49-yard line.
49-yard line. Montville will take over. It was the senior Babukis with the recovery. The snap never got clean to Curse. And unlike most fumbled snaps that go straight down and the quarterback has a chance, that one hit a foot and went away
forward
from him, and he couldn't see it, and it went right into the Montville lineman. So there's a turnover that Montville needs. That's the kind of thing they need to make happen, and they'll have it 1st and 10 right at the 49-yard line. Johnson's going to throw on 1st down. Has a man, and it's going to whistles were blown, so nothing doing there. The whistles blew. He had Isaiah Yard, but half the team on both sides had kind of stopped playing because they heard the whistle.
Well, at least they're paying attention right there, because all of them just stopped and looked at the referee.
False start against Montville.
Again, you were talking about these little key mistakes. You know, when you get to week 3, things like this have to be getting better. You know, we try to teach our players during the season that the discipline and the repetition of doing things right have to increase, and they can't. You know, these are things that can critically affect the game if they continue to do so.
And that's exactly right. Little things like that dramatically affect games, and we'll get into that. I'll talk a little bit about the state of the ECC in a few moments. But Johnson now first down, going to throw again on 1st and 15. They go back to the same exact route, and a diving attempt by Yard, and it goes incomplete. Bots on the coverage. Same play, almost identical result. Good thrown ball and just out of the reach.
Great job by the offensive line with pass protection there. Just handling and giving the quarterback time to get that ball thrown.
Second and 15. And the key for Aiden Johnson is time.
Yes.
Give him time, he throws a nice ball. You see, when, like most quarterbacks, when pressured, that's when things break down and problems arise. Second down, handoff. Aponte, big gain, almost to the first down marker, crosses into Colonel territory. So Hector Aponte with the biggest play of the game thus far for the Wolves.
Yeah, definitely. The Wolves needed that because we want to avoid to have 3rd and long like you talked about earlier. 3rd and long was really tough for them last week. To get in a situation where it's 3rd and short gives them more opportunities to get a play that's going to be successful.
So call it 3rd and a long 2. And the Wolves could really use a first down here, get the chains moving. I think settle into this game at home in front of a nice crowd.
Definitely. The longer they can keep the ball away from the offense is going to be a privilege on their side.
Johnson operates from the shotgun, has Aponte to his right. He's going to throw. Soft roll, zips it, complete, first down. Arian Castillo on the reception.
That's a good pass route. That's a classic flood route play where you have a guy run deep and get the corner out the way. Then you have your second level and lower level flat. And he saw that the linebacker jumped on that flat, and he gave that ball to the right spot. Good call, good play by the Wolves.
First down, Montville, and these receivers seem to be finding the open spots in the coverage. And with some time, Johnson has put the ball right where it needs to be. First down, little slant, complete to Castillo. Now that's a play that I don't see enough of, and I think more teams should use. So much soft coverage, that little 3-yard in. It's not quite a slant because he didn't go hard enough to make it a slant. It's kind of like an in, but it's almost like a running play.
Yeah, we call it stops, or we call it quick hitches, things like that really can get that linebacker to drop off and think he's going to have to jump into a coverage. And it's just a 3 or 4 step and turn and catch and go.
It's 5 yards. It's a great gain, and it also sets up, later on that in a go.
Right.
Johnson, deep ball, has a man in the end zone. Touchdown, what a catch, Isaiah Yard.
Awesome play.
And the Wolves get on the board first. It's 6-0 with 6:03 remaining in the first. Yard went up, strong hands, brought it down, and right away we've got a candidate for this week's Grade 8.
Definitely put that one in. You called it, Case. Short routes, bringing the linebackers in, making the corners commit that it's going to be a quick throw, and guess what? Next play, long bomb in the corner. Touchdown, Wolves.
Turney will come in to kick the extra point. Johnson will hold. When your quarterback is your holder, it always brings up the possibility of a fake, but Turney's got a real good foot. He bangs that one through. And with 6:03 here in the first quarter, we have a score 7-0, Wolves on top. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Day's Great 8. The best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Great 8 of the week. So a 6 o'clock start here at Montville with a 7-0 lead. They're going to get some playing time in the daylight as it turns tonight. 6 o'clock start at Weaver tonight as the Bacon Academy Bobcats at 1-1 are over to play the Beavers at Weaver. last night. Stonington with a shootout win over Waterford. And I bring up that group of teams, the 6 teams, because after this kickoff from Turney, I'm going to talk about the round and round of the ECC. Ball taken by Barbosa. Barbosa reverses field and crosses the 30-yard line.
Barbosa with the return. Ledyard takes over.
And that's where Ledyard will have it. So in week 1, Bacon Academy beats Bethel. Montville beats Lewis Mills. Ledyard gets wrecked by Sheehan.
Yeah.
And so you say, okay, who's good, who's not good? Stonington won their game as well. So Bacon goes to play Stonington in week 2. Stonington, in a very competitive game, it was 16 to 8 at halftime. Stonington pulls away in the second half. Montville gets drilled by Waterford.
Yep.
And this Ledyard team bounces back and drills Weaver. I will continue after this play.
You got it.
Curse under center with Hayward. Little quick pass in the flat to Botts. And Botts, short gain, nice job by the Wolves getting their 2-yard gain. So you start to say, well, wait a minute. What did I learn from week 2? Is Stonington maybe better than I thought? And then they go and they beat Waterford yesterday, which is, maybe Stonington is better than you thought.
Right.
Now this Ledyard and Montville team are playing each other, and Bacon Academy is going to play Weaver. And so you're saying, is Weaver any good, or is Ledyard better than we thought? They drilled Weaver, and now you're seeing Ledyard and Montville, and you're saying maybe Montville's better than we thought. So this is a week where all these teams are playing each other, and we're still trying to figure out. We know Killingly, we know Fitch.
Yep.
Who else? 2nd and 6. Curse hands it off to Hayward. Hayward with a big gain and a first down all the way up towards midfield. Hayward has had big holes. That Ledyard offensive line doing a fabulous job.
Casey, I know what you're talking about when it comes to things like this, where you're trying to grade teams throughout the week. You know, it's all about the week's practice and preparation for the following week. The more you can learn from your mistakes and get that to be more defined and have a disciplined mindset to play, you can be competitive, and it brings those games to a close situation where you know you can have a chance to win.
First down, Colonels at their own 46-yard line, and we're going to get a whistle and a timeout.
4 minutes, 42 seconds.
We will keep it here with the timeout and talk a little bit more about that point that we were just raising. So we knew Killingly. So here's the thing. We knew Killingly would be the class of the ECC. They're 0-2, right? Because they played an unbelievable top 10 start to the season. We knew Fitch would be good. They're 2-0. Tonight's a fabulous test for them with North Haven. We're going to find out really, where they are, comparatively. Bacon against Weaver and these two teams against each other. Now we're starting to see which teams are going to start. Like Stonington at 3-0 has now put itself into the conversation. New London had that good week 1 win and then a really poor performance against Fitch. So this becomes a bounce back week for the Whalers. Wyndham beating Griswold after Griswold had thrown up 60, and now Wyndham gets Killingly, who's 0-2 and hungry for a win. So this week, I think, this is moving week, where the teams that start to go to 2-1, some teams are going to be going to 1-2, and we're going to find out.
Where the separation begins. Yep.
First down, Colonels. Curse under center. Motion man is Cassavant. Another ball on the turf, and another recovery for the Wolves. The second Ledyard fumble. The only thing that can stop the Colonels is the poor snap. And the Wolves now 2 times have recovered those fumbles, and they'll be in Ledyard territory.
Well, the Wolves are howling these opportunities right now, and it's, again, setting them up in good field position to make these opportunities come to fruition with these plays that they have. Again, that ball exchange was just something that you should already know how to do. I mean, he didn't even have a chance to even put it in the belly of the running back, or if he was keeping it. So this has got to get fixed in the other side.
That was Turney on the recovery. And Montville will have it in Ledyard territory. Let's see if they go right back to the air here. Johnson with 1 touchdown pass already. Instead, on first down, he hands it to Aponte. Nothing there, loss. Streckfus was the first person in the backfield for the Colonels, and also coming out was big 66, Ephraim Medic.
Well, that coach from the other side definitely called the blitz play there. He knew that they were going to run the ball and stuffed them right now for a 2nd and long.
Matthew Tebbets, number 60. we called his name. He's a veteran. He's been around for
very
a
good
few
physical
years.
kid. You know, strong like his dad when he used to play for the Bears back in the day. He's a awesome, smart young man, and I think he's going to be doing great things for this team this year.
So 2nd and 14, 13. Standing at his own 45-yard line, Johnson will operate again out of the shotgun with Aponte to his right. Gonna throw. Quick screen, out it goes. Castillo gets to midfield where he's hammered and brought down. Ryan Taggart on the tackle, and no gain there after what looked like a promising play.
Yeah, Ryan did a good job to keep his feet under him and keep his feet moving so that he could wrap up and make that play. Otherwise, that was going to be a lot of yards that young man could attain on the other side.
Here's that 3rd and long.
Situation that Montville does not want to be in right now.
Good atmosphere here tonight at Montville High School. Good crowd, the band's here, the cheerleaders. Johnson stands at his own 45, going to throw on 3rd and long. Deep down the sideline into double coverage, and it's almost intercepted by Curse. Now there's a good example of the other side of Aiden Johnson, right? We've seen him make great throws, but the decisions have to match the throws.
Right.
The decisions have to be made by reads, right?
Yes.
So either the read is bad or the decision is bad, but when he makes a good read and a smart decision, he throws a dangerous ball.
Yes, he definitely does. That situation was a max protection with 2 receivers, so he only had 1 shot, and I think that's something that the coach wanted to try out. So could have been a bad call there because the coverage was really good for the Colonels.
If you get an interception, it acts almost like a punt, but
Exactly.
here's Turney with the punt and angles it towards the sidelines. It'll go out of bounds. We'll see where the official marks it, whether or not it's inside the 20 or not. He's walking it back up. And right at the 20-yard line. So Ledyard will have it, 1st and 10 at their own 20, and we've seen 2 Colonel drives after big runs from Hayward, stalled by poor exchanges and fumbles that have been recovered by the Wolves.
No doubt. I think that's one thing that the Colonels can look in the positive side is that they're not, really getting hurt by Montville. They're hurting themselves. So if they could realize and get it together, they could sustain some drives and get some points here on the board.
Ball security is going to be the message here from Coach Mike Saricchio. Curse under center, 1st down. Hayward gets it and is hit immediately, and there's big 77, Dimitri Charles, the freshman, shedding the block and making the tackle for a gain of a yard.
No doubt. Dimitri had that little Warren Sapp swagger there on that play. He read it real quick, and he got wrapped up, and he's trying to excite his defense up. I tell you, that young man got a lot of energy.
Freshman, I salivate when I see freshmen that size. That's a 4-year star right there. 2nd and 9, Curse operates under center. Motion. Handoff again, ball loose a 3rd time. Missed exchange with Hayward. Do the Wolves have it again?
They're digging. This is all about the fight. Who's going to win that ball?
Montville running off with it, and again, 3 lost fumbles in the 1st quarter. 1:50 remaining in the 1st quarter, and Montville has recovered its 3rd fumble. This time, not on the snap to the quarterback, but on the exchange from Curse to Hayward.
Tell you, in great field position right now. If this Montville team scores another touchdown, this could really put the momentum in their favor.
I would go right to the air. I would throw it on 1st down. And I would go wherever I think there's safety. I got single coverage on the left side.
You got the Air Coryell mentality.
There it is. Johnson over the middle, and just off the hands of the intended target, Riley Byer, one of his favorite targets.
Definitely that was a good read. He saw that the linebacker went to the flats, was wide open in the inside. It was a good ball. I think the receiver didn't break off the ball quick enough. If he did, he would have caught it and had some yards to run.
I like Montville using the middle of the field like that, too.
Yeah. Well, they see that they're bringing pressure from the inside, so there's only one high safety, and if you stretch the field, he has to commit to one half of it. There's going to be some openings if they continue to run this kind of defense.
So 2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line. Aponte stands to the left of Johnson. Johnson fakes the handoff, rolls right, has some pressure, looking downfield, looking, and throws it away. Incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down. The safety for Ledyard, the one safety they're playing deep, has a name that makes me smile every time I say it. Finn Scully.
Finn Scully.
Not the famed Dodgers broadcaster Vin, but perhaps a long-lost relative, Finn Scully.
Yeah, there's some great names between these two teams right now.
It's going to be 3rd and 10, and now they're saying there's a penalty as well, and they're marking it off.
I think they might have said that when he threw it out of bounds, that could be intentional grounding. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, it's going to be intentional grounding against Johnson, and that'll back it up.
I think he's trying to follow the pros mentality that if there was no person, to throw to, they could throw it away. He should have just ran out of bounds, but again, kids are learning a lot from their upper sports and their video games.
Loss of down is the bigger problem, so it's 3rd and 20 now.
Yep.
They're back almost to the 30. And I'm going to talk about that after this play because I think that's a great point, Pasta.
Yep.
When the rules don't match each other across platforms. On 3rd down, Johnson has time over the middle, high, incomplete, well defended by Curse. He was looking for Byer. Now, how many times have we seen quarterbacks out of the pocket, throws it away?
Right.
All it has to do is get back to the line of scrimmage. That doesn't, nothing else matters.
Yep. We used to say back in the day, throw it up to the stands just to make sure it never got anywhere in the field.
Looks like Montville's going to punt it. Turney stands at his 40-yard line. They're going to try to pin, or they're going to try no, they're going to go for a field goal. This will be a 45-yarder from Turney. Good snap, and the kick is partially blocked. Turney never had a chance to show off the leg as the center of the line collapsed. Tebbets was the first one there, and Montville will go empty after recovering their 3rd fumble. So on the Ledyard side of things, 3 fumbles, but only 7 points. So they'll have it, and ball security is key.
We always say that one of the factors as a full team and how offense connects with defense is situations. When you have situations where you turn over the ball, the defense is supposed to have the mentality of no scores after turnovers or situations that are critical. And so, we see that Ledyard did very well handling that, but they got to get themselves in the offense and secure that ball to get things rolling.
Ball security, ball security, ball security.
1st down and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
So we're going to have a new quarterback in the game for Ledyard. Number 12, Michael Power, the sophomore, in the game. And he's going to toss right to Botts. Flag on the play as Botts got 9, but that's in the area that often is holding.
Botts with the carry. There is a flag on the play.
And that penalty will be against the Colonels for holding. So new quarterback, Michael Power. I think the exchanges had just become a problem between the quarterback and the center.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully they can find something here. I mean, that was a decent run, but again, holding puts him right back. This is not the type of field position you want to get penalties and get pushed back into the end zone. It'll really force a tough punting situation if it does occur.
Well, Ledyard does not throw the ball often.
No.
So 1st and 20, not what they're looking for. Power on, as we said, new quarterback under center. Handoff goes to Streckfus. So we got a couple new looks, new quarterback, new running back here for Ledyard. That's going to gain a couple yards, but it'll be 2nd and very long.
I like what Montville's doing right now, having Aponte just blitz a gap every play and getting to that quarterback in that mesh point. They're going to keep on doing that until something happens, but there's no really reason right now why Ledyard can't stop that.
Power on 2nd and long.
Yeah.
Motion. Handoff. Streckfus. Flag down. Streckfus gets past the original line of scrimmage. But I think we're going to have a flag against Ledyard on an illegal shift.
Illegal shift against the Colonels.
I'll tell you, the young man Hector Aponte, boy, he's playing the linebacker position the way you want to, him to do it. He scraped right off the ball, got into the gap, and then wrapped up and put that tackle down. But, again, Ledyard's just hurting themselves.
Back they go again. Second and long as we're under 30 seconds remaining in the first period. Ledyard has really been their own worst enemy here in period number 1. 3 fumbles and a number of penalties. 3 lost fumbles. Power. On second and long. Handoff, Streckfus. That ball's loose. 4th fumble, and I believe the 4th Wolves recovery of the first quarter.
Unbelievable. Montville Wolves are howling it right now with their defense.
Kimarni Bosa with the recovery, and I got to tell you, I have never seen 4 lost fumbles in a quarter. I've been watching football for 50 years. I've never seen 4 lost fumbles in a high school game in 1 quarter.
Well, you could see the tendency and the anxiety is building up on this offense just to get the ball handed off to the quarterback. That anxiety is just causing them to make some mistakes.
So, time for perhaps one more play here in the first quarter. 9 seconds. 1st and 10. The Wolves at their own 20-yard line. Excuse me, at the Ledyard 20-yard line. Wide toss. And not much there for the Wolves, and that will take us to the end of the first period. We're at the end of 1, 7-0 Wolves. Here watching Game Day live on theday.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off season, and Game Day has no off season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. 7-0 Wolves on top of the Colonels as we start quarter number 2. Game Day is brought to you by Philomena's, award-winning great food, live entertainment, and more. Visit us at philomenascafe.com to view the menu and book your next catering or private event. When you go and do that, make sure you give a holler to Mike or to Sarah and you let them know that Game Day told you to go on down to Philomena's, get the meatball salad, get a little bruschetta, some calamari, a little gnocchi, some scallops.
You're making my belly grumble, brother.
I may have had a dish or two off the Philomena's menu in my time. So 2nd down and 15 for the Wolves as they lost 5 on that 1st down run by Wall. Johnson to throw. Has time. Over the middle. Zipped. Beautiful throw. Beautiful catch. Broken tackle. Heading into the end zone. What an effort. Riley Byer. Touchdown Wolves.
Awesome play and a great throw. Boy, did he hit that spot and he took off on the run. Great job.
That ball was thrown on a line. It hit Byer in stride, and from there, the junior wide receiver made it all happen, shedding tackles and getting into the end zone. And the Wolves have another candidate for next week's grading.
I was going to say, put that in the bucket, brother.
Turney will come in for the extra point. High snap. And he gets it off, however, even with the high snap, and gets it through. And with 11:50 remaining here in the second period, 14-0. Montville on top of Ledyard.
Ledyard 0.
I'll tell you, that penalty there is going to be tacked on the kickoff. Boy, what kind of energy tonight you expect to have forced fumbles by the defense and offense pounding 2 great plays like that. Can you have the 4 fumbles in the grade 8?
So I have watched Montville on film a decent amount, and I think this is the best I've seen Aiden Johnson throw the football. Part of it is this is the best protection, and they're getting the ball out of his hands quickly.
Coach is smart. He's putting the best protection and max protection in certain situations on the play, giving them, giving the quarterback the opportunity to get that ball in there. And again, that's a long route throw, so you have to make sure you keep your poise in there and then hit it at the right spot. Boy, did he do that.
And it's been a bunch of Isaiah Yards had big plays, Riley Byers had big plays. So we've seen more than one person, with big plays. Arian Castillo had a big play, so Montville's spreading it out. But all of this on the heels of 4 lost fumbles for the Colonels. And ultimately, that's the story of the first period, is the 4 lost fumbles. And the Colonels really, their inability to do a basic handoff, that's what has been missing so far. Botts up the middle of the field, through the hash, crosses the 25-yard line. So nice run back by the junior Dominic Botts, and that's where Ledyard will have it. Right now, Ledyard changed quarterbacks, they changed running backs, and they have not found a combination that has promoted ball security.
I'll tell you, if I'm in Montville right now, I'm going to continue to bring pressure because, that second quarterback coming in, he might have not had reps to throw the ball. And if we could force those first 2, 3, even 3 plays, just to force some kind of blitz pressure and force them that 3rd and long, it's going to be into the Wolves' favor.
So now Power is back in at quarterback and Hayward back at running back. So the original running back with Power, the second quarterback we've seen for the Colonels. First down. Toss is behind the running back, and he's brought down a big loss, but we're going to get a flag, which might be a face mask or a horse collar. The pitch was to Brian Johnson, and it was way behind Johnson. He did a nice job to even, corral it, but big loss on the play as well.
Yeah, young Michael Power right now is just trying to get the tempo. This is not JV level, where you could try to work that there. He's got to get it out there and get him a chance to run with that pitch, but it didn't work out there for them.
So it is going to be against illegal use of the hands of the face against Montville, which will negate the big loss, and we're just basically get a do-over. It's going to be first down and what amounts to 11.
Yep.
First down and 11.
Power has Hayward in the backfield. That ball hit the turf again, but bounced back to Power. That's the 5th fumble from Ledyard, and that time they got it back. Luckily, Power recovered it, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and maybe half a yard. It's going to be 2nd and long.
There's some marmalade jelly on that football tonight.
Down and 9.
Someone's got to take the grease off the football that Ledyard is using.
It's just amazing how they're having all these fumbles tonight.
Power. Johnson under center, handoff, Hayward, and great job by the interior of the Montville line, stopping him for no gain. It'll be 3rd and long. Peter will remember this. A few years ago, he did a game at Bunnell of Stratford, Fitch at Bunnell, where the poor Bunnell center must have snapped it over the quarterback's head. I mean, Peter, was it 6 times, 8 times before they finally had to go make changes?
All I remember about that trip was the marching band at halftime.
One of the best we've ever seen. One of the best performances we've ever seen. It's true. 3rd down and 12. Power bumps into his running back and throws it to no man's land, and that was all he could do. He bumped into his running back. So right now, Ledyard is as out of sync as we have seen any team this year. The 2 teams that come to mind was, again, the Bunnell center snapped it over the quarterback's head. I'm not kidding. Maybe 6 or 8 times in the first half, and Bunnell had to go to an under center offense, which they don't run, but they had to do it because they couldn't do it anymore. The other one was last year, Prince Tech against TRC.
Boy. I was there for that game.
And yes, you were. Punt is up and bouncing out of bounds. It'll be great field position for the Wolves. They'll be in Colonel's territory.
Yep.
But we found out afterwards that that center was the backup center, and the quarterback was the backup quarterback. And we understood that they were all on 2 days worth of practice, right?
Yeah.
So, we don't know what might be going on the Ledyard side right now, but 5 fumbles, quarterbacks bouncing into their running backs, just speaks to an out of sync offense right now.
Well, brother, when we talk about like depth charts, in college and in the professional level, you're going to have another elite type player coming in. But in high school, when you have a sophomore that maybe doesn't have that experience, it's a big variance as far as the ability to play. So, having a sophomore quarterback is tough for the Colonels right now.
Wolves with a chance to pounce. Johnson, screen, has a man, and a great open field tackle made. The pass was thrown out to Castillo. And we see Curse in the game on defense, the starting quarterback for Ledyard, and that was a big tackle he made out there as Castillo had, one of those miss a tackle and you can go.
Yeah, definitely.
2nd and 10 for Montville.
This kinds of series, Coach Tanner knows how to control the clock and munch it down and try to work his way downfield to get a score. Let's see if his offense can do that.
Johnson has a Ponte to his right on 2nd down. Hands it to a Ponte. Tries to bounce it. Nothing there. Great job. Tebbets leading the way, and Hayward finishing it off for the Colonels. It'll be 3rd and 10.
1 yard loss on the play. 3rd down and 11.
With all the mistakes that's been going on for the Colonels, their defense is still holding down to 14 points. So this could still be a game.
Yeah, 4 turnovers all on your side of things.
Yeah.
It could be much, much worse, but it still might be much, much worse,
right.
Depending on what happens on this drive. Johnson to throw. He steps up from the pressure, slings it, has a man, it's complete, 1st down, breaking a tackle, heading for the end zone. Howell, Wolves, Howell. Woo! It is Isaiah's yard.
Wow.
50 yards, touchdown reception for Montville.
What poise in that pocket.
Johnson felt the pressure, stepped into the pocket away from Streckfus, threw it to a wide open Yard who broke a tackle and beat everybody to the end zone. Big plays hurt Montville last week. Montville with the big plays tonight, and they're up 20-0.
Man, Aiden was awesome. The good thing about that was, he felt the pressure, but his eyes were still downfield.
Turney's extra point is up, and it is good. And with 8:14 remaining here in quarter number 2, the home crowd at Montville is delighted. Their Wolves lead 21-0. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. Turney to kick it off for Montville, going right to left, 21-0. They're up. So Killingly played last night, their Wyndham game last night, and Killingly came out on top. So once they got into the ECC, they won their first game. That drops Wyndham down to 1-2. 40-12 was the victory there for Killingly. Short kick. Colonel's upman Jackson Grimm gets it to the 40-yard line. Flag comes in. That looks like it's going to be shenanigans. And if it is, in fact, shenanigans, it's going to back Ledyard up where they had good field position at their own 40. And if it is against Ledyard, after 4 lost fumbles and a lack of continuity in the offense, this would be enough to send me over the edge as a coach.
Well,
what's the referee's signal for shenanigans?
Well, it depends on if it's a 15-yard shenanigans or if it's merely a 10-yard shenanigans.
I would say if he does the cabbage patch, that's the major shenanigans.
Jazz hands is the 10-yard shenanigans. The 15-yard shenanigans is the cabbage patch.
It's the cabbage patch or the WAP. Remember that back in that?
The WAP, sure. I
almost dislocated my neck that time I did that at the high school homecoming.
If there was only a camera in here, I was just ripping that out.
You did pretty good.
Oh, yeah, but
your traps are tight.
Sorry, but the game's going back on right now. So You got to catch me unawares. You know. So the ball is going to be at the 40-yard line. It looks like they picked up the flag, and it'll be Colonel Ball. I don't know that I have ever, in recent memory, thought that Ledyard needs a sustained drive more than they need now.
Definitely.
Kearse is back at quarterback, so we're back to the original offense with Kearse and Hayward at running back. And we're going to get a offsides penalty, a illegal motion penalty against Ledyard as their wingman jumped. And I don't know that I've seen Ledyard ever this out of sync. The one thing I always think about, and I'm talking to someone who's very familiar with Ledyard, I've always thought of Ledyard as efficient, crisp. Even when they lose, like, you can count on them to get up to the ball and run a play. And this is so un-Colonel-like.
It all goes back to practice. Definitely goes back to practice.
First and long. Kearse, handoff to Hayward, and a beautiful job by the Montville line. Charles was the first one to hit him. Ball loose, and the Colonels held on to it. The official says the Colonels held on to it, or that he was down. So they're going to say he was down. Montville disagrees.
I tell you, this Wolfpack attitude is phenomenal. Look at them. I think they did get the ball back.
And they're going to reverse the decision and say Wolves football.
Wow.
How about that?
Boy, these boys are hungry tonight, and they're getting footballs as a result of it. That's unbelievable.
Not one. Not two.
Now, give me one more.
Not three.
Up on top, one more.
Not four.
Nope, give me the Cinco.
But 5 lost fumbles,
5 lost
for the
fumbles.
Colonels.
Their whole front teeth is missing right now. Unbelievable.
5. I have
I've
never seen anything like this from the Colonels. This is the most out of sync I have ever seen a Colonels offense. And
I go back to when we coach. I mean, we used to always send our quarterbacks and centers out mad early and the start of warm-ups so they can get their snaps in 60 snaps at all times.
this is a snowball going downhill right now, and Montville tastes it. Turney goes from right to left. Johnson, quick hitter, it goes to Castillo. Castillo fumbles, and it's picked up by Riley Byer. First down, Montville. When it goes your way, it goes your way.
Man, I don't know. Maybe it's not both teams. It's just the footballs. They just do not want to be held today. Boy.
Chains will move, but, you know, Ledyard's a very well-coached team, and Mike Sergio has done a great job with them. They made the playoffs last year. We knew they were going to have to replace Jackson Polton and James Green, and there was going to be a lot of skill guys to go. But the line has some veteran guys to it. I've just never seen them look at so out of sync, whether it's the basic exchange from the center to the quarterback or the quarterback hitting those timing plays on the. It's uncharacteristic. And Montville taking advantage. Handoff on first down to Wall. Wall bounces it outside, tries to show some speed, but cut down and running to the football. A platoon of Colonels.
Yeah, that was great pursuit by the Colonels right there, not giving him any inch. And basically, I think he only gained 1 yard on that play.
Wall with a carry, 1 yard gain on the play. Second down and 9.
Second and 9. Hard to believe this Montville team, 1 win a year ago, you know, most numbers they've had in the program in a long time. This is the kind of game that could really propel them. You know, there's a confidence that comes from a win like this. And right now, Ledyard just can't get into halftime fast enough. We've got a timeout on the field, timeout Montville. So with this timeout and the 21-0 lead, we will take a quick break. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. And we're back, 21-0 Wolves here, 2nd and 9. Johnson in the shotgun. Motion man is Turney, switching from right to the side to the left side. Johnson half roll, has a man wide open. Touchdown, Riley Byers on fire, and the Wolves 27-0.
Man, that's a great play. So Johnson sits back and says, I'm going to fake the bubble, get the defense to jump on the bubble, the corner bit, and wide open. Nice smooth toss throw. Wolves are on fire.
The Ledyard bubble burst on that play.
Yes.
27-0. Turney in for the extra point. And I am going to, after this extra point, and we're gonna, when we come back, I'm gonna have a moment of honesty. Low snap, no chance. There's something done right. Curse blocks it. With 6:45 remaining, 27-0. Montville on top. We'll keep it here for a moment because I'm gonna share with you. We're in the circle of trust.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna share with you some honesty. If you had said to me, Case, 27-0. 6:45 remaining in the first half, I would have said, wow, Ledyard's really putting a thumping on him, huh?
Definitely.
People have talked to me, what do you expect tonight? What do you expect tonight? And I honestly expected Ledyard to out-physical Montville. I said, well,
right.
You know what? Ledyard righted the ship last week against Weaver, kind of got things going, and, Montville looked, pretty bad against Waterford. I think this is going to be one of those Ledyard just kind of dominates.
Right.
Well, here's my public apology to all Wolves fans everywhere for besmirching your name today.
Howl them an apology.
They are saying, get our name out your mouth, Game Day guy. But I'm going to speak to something after the kickoff here from Turney. End over end kick comes down to Javon Barbosa. Barbosa shows some speed to the 40-yard line, and Ledyard will have it at the 42. So I asked, Ledyard last week put a thumping on Weaver. Weaver, who also got thumped in week 1, and I talked with the Bacon coach about what he saw because they're playing Weaver tonight. Mm-hmm. And he said that game was much closer than the score. He said Weaver and Ledyard were they were the same team. Right. And Weaver gave up a couple of big plays to Ledyard. Exactly. That was the only difference in the game, which is making me think that Ledyard has not been in sync yet this year. No. This is week 3 where they're still kind of finding who they are.
Well, I would think of the same way.
Curse hands off, Hayward. Positive play, and that's much more Ledyard-like, going downhill, 4 yards, Now, if I were Ledyard, I'd want to get right back up on the football and go.
Yeah,
just
increase
go.
the tempo and run those plays effectively. I mean, they do have some good offensive linemen that could block. Again, I just think that forcing 3rd and longs are going to be really tough for them to try to execute a play. Boy, but give credit to this Montville defense. Last week they probably got, ripped by coach, and they worked hard, and now they're playing some good sound football.
2nd down, Curse. And we got a jump. Tebbett's moved, and unlike the senior lineman, but that'll be right back 5. Last week when they lose 47-14 to Waterford, although I believe 2 of those touchdowns were defensive touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we've seen Waterford super explosive in the early going. We see Peyton Sutman as a huge, running back. Jax Higgins, unbelievable. They've got speed on the outside. So it's kind of hard to know what your defense is when you're playing a team like that as well. Mm-hmm. 2nd and 10, Curse. Hands off again to Hayward. Hayward back to where we were again, except now it's going to be 3rd down as he gets 6, 3rd and 4. And I mean, this has got to be 4 down territory for Ledyard, right?
I would definitely say so, yeah. They got to get something here in this half, somehow, some way.
They are going to get the ball. Ledyard kicked off, so they're as it is, they're not going to get the ball to start the 2nd half. So they got to keep the ball here. Handoff again. Hayward just puts his head down. He was hit right at the line of scrimmage. He gets to midfield, and it's going to bring up 4th and 2. But Hayward had his head down before he even took a step. He didn't even look for a hole. There was penetration, and he was just in hold on to the ball mode.
That's the anxiety mentality. You know, he should have realized that there was a great push by the offensive line, and he just works himself to that first level and try to use that momentum without, you know, putting your head down. But here they are. They're running quick.
4th down, tight formation, quarterback keeper pushing forward, and they'll have the first down, moving the chains into Wolves territory.
Now that's the tempo that we were talking about right there. Jump on it real quick, get that sound call or quick call, and get it in there. I think we have a timeout on the field.
We have a timeout on the field, but we'll keep it here, see if we can get any scores of games. We talked already about Waterford's win over, Waterford's loss to Stonington, and Killingly's win over Wyndham. We'll find out if we can get a hold of any other scores. Griswold's up 7-0 over Woodstock. They're looking to bounce back from, I think, what was a surprise for them last week with that tough loss at Wyndham. And that's our only score right now. I would be curious if we could ever get a hold of the Fitch North Haven score. That would be of interest to me. Obviously,
definitely.
Bacon Academy and Weaver would be of interest to me. So if you're out there and you're watching or listening to us and you have access to scores of Fitch North Haven, Bacon Academy Weaver, or anyone else, go ahead and put them up on social media and let us know what you got.
What do you think about the white helmets case? Montville has always been using to a dark helmet feature.
I love the white helmets.
Yeah, they look very good.
First down, Colonels in Montville territory. 5 lost fumbles is the story for the Colonels on offense. Curse, under center on first down. Hands off to Streckfus. Streckfus dives over left tackle, and they've been pounding that middle, fullback dive, middle, and they've gotten themselves 3 or 4 yards. We have not seen anything really outside yet for Ledyard.
No, and Montville is, you know, relaying back with the Mike Blitz inside. He's just getting right up in that gap and penetrating, causing a lot of disruption in the blocking scheme here.
Scully goes out wide right. Big target for the Colonels if they choose to throw the football. 2nd and 7. Curse. Hands off again to Streckfus. Streckfus bounces off of one man and crosses the 40-yard line, or right at the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Down and 3 for Ledyard.
Big play for the Colonels right here. They definitely got to get a first down.
Two downs to get 3 yards is where the Colonels are at right now. They want to be this. Ultimately, they would like this to be the last possession of the half. 3rd and 3. Streckfus with the handoff and maybe a yard and a half, but he's not going to be there for the first down.
Gain on the play. 4th down and 2.
They'll give him a yard. 4th down and 2. Bosa on the tackle, and it's going to be a big play for the Colonels offense. They got it last time on 4th down.
They got to go into that nice scrum formation again, get tight, and use their power to get leverage on this. Let's see what happens.
Here they are, 4th down, doing again, pushing forward. This one's not as easy. It's all going to depend on the spot. I think he got it, but I am usually wrong.
I'm going to go with my lazy eye, and I think it's short by a foot.
All depends on the spot, and they're saying Montville football short by a foot and a half.
Shout out to my lazy eye on that one. That's my first one for the year.
2:26 remaining in the half with a 27-0 lead. The Montville defense holds.
Boy, they're playing great tonight.
They have a chance to punch another one in and get the ball back to start the second half.
Yeah. Okay, I give credit to Coach. He prepared this defense this week, you know, really well. I mean, it's a good scheme, a lot of pressure. They know they're not going to throw the ball, so they're really going after it, and, you know, they're favoring into the turnovers. What's scary here is plenty of time for Montville in this. I mean,
Montville hasn't needed much time to score thus far. 3 receivers trips now. Nope, do it. 2 receivers on both sides. Johnson's going to throw. Goes over the middle, and it's incomplete. and his footwork was not good that time. He wanted the bubble screen, and then he saw Beyer open on the deep in, and he tried to throw it, but his feet weren't set. Not the best throw.
That was his first read, you were right, and then all of a sudden he didn't posture his body into that position to throw that ball. He's lucky it wasn't intercepted.
It's because he had too many guys open.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, his first, the bubble screen was there, and then he saw his, I don't know if that's his second read or not, but 2nd and 10. Now trips left. Handoff, and nothing there. Calvin Cassavant with the hit on Colin Wall, and that'll back up the Wolves. It'll be 3rd and 14.
4-yard loss on the play. 3rd down and 14 for the Wolves.
So we'll see what Montville draws up on 3rd and 14. Under 2 minutes remaining here in the half.
I think Coach is going to milk that clock as much as he can. Play it safe. Coach Tanner, man, 18 years, Casey. Been on the helm there.
Hard to believe he's been here this long. I remember when he was hired.
Yeah. Remember when he was young, he had that jet streak hair and the towel around his neck, running up and down the field, and he still does. I think he's trotting more. A
little salt and pepper now, though.
A little salt and pepper. Got that Clooney swag.
We got a timeout. Wolves with a 27-0 lead. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. That score is correct, 27-0 Wolves. They're facing a 3rd and 14. Johnson to throw. Plenty of time. Deep ball on the sideline, wobbling, but it's complete. It is caught by Arian Castillo, first down. That ball was wobbling in amongst double coverage, but Castillo comes down with it into Ledyard territory.
The defense had the right call. They were playing quarters coverage, but the corner didn't jump on the wheel route. That guy ran an inside and wheel up, and he was wide open. He's playing too much of a soft defense in that coverage there.
First down on 3rd and 14. Montville offense looking as good as they have in a number of years, moving the ball, and this crowd is in love with the Wolves. Aponte to the right of Aiden Johnson. Aponte gets the handoff, stutter steps, tries to bounce outside, but Cassavant has him and wrestles him down after a gain of maybe 2. Clock is running as we're under a minute remaining here in the half. They're going to say no gain. They bumped them out right at the 41-yard line. So clock running, 45 and ticking. In Montville with the ball and the ball coming back to them in half number 2. I know that they want to try to punch another one in, but I think they'd be perfectly content going into halftime with this 27-0 lead. Johnson gives it to Aponte. Nothing there, maybe a yard. That's going to bring up 3rd down, and the clock ticks with 15 seconds remaining. It'll be interesting to see if Montville wants to try to get one final play off. They are hurrying up to the line. Johnson will get one more play off. He's going to throw it. This will be the last play of the half. Johnson rolls, tries to throw it, and does throw it out of bounds, but that's at the buzzer. So we are going to be at halftime, but the flag comes down. They're going to say, I think that's going to be another intentional grounding. We'll see if that is in fact the last play of the half.
They did the same thing as the last time.
Officials are discussing it. And Ledyard's going to decline the penalty. And we are at halftime. 27-0. Montville on top. We'll be back with some halftime festivities and more. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Over 20 submissions for this week's Grade 8. Let's see who made it. Starting off at number 8, Waterford boys soccer hadn't beaten Stonington since 2018. But Griffin Neal's about to change all that. 1-on-4, no problem. Look at him rip it for the goal. Lancers win 2-1. Hey kids, you ever heard of John Riggins, Earl Campbell? Well, look him up, because Branford's Cole Snyder does his best imitation of the big guys. Breaking tackles, not to be brought down. 40-yard touchdown for Branford. Well, you know Killingly High School's Soren Reef. He's impossible to bring down. Load up the box. Watch him get the toss and run over. No, he's going to throw it. Aiden Lamont wide open. Reef can do it all for Killingly. Let's go to number 5 and the Waterford girls soccer. Cameron Dickinson with the corner kick. Bullet high and over, and there's, Charlotte Jessic with the header. Lancers win undefeated to start the season. You've heard of OBJ? Well, how about PMG? Stonington football quarterback Jaden Carter in the corner. Patrick McGugan with the one-handed grab for the Bears. Sometimes it's so pretty you need to see it twice. Look at Skylar Bell, the libero for East Lyme. Digging it, keeping it alive, not once, but twice. Viking volleyball. Colby Cowan, Montville soccer. 35 yards out, not a problem. The laser, top shelf goal. Winner over St. Bernard's. But at number 1, let's get special. Special teams for East Lyme. Malachi Harris picks up the block from Cyrus Astaire, returns it. Touchdown, 37-21 win over Woodstock. Those are your Grade 8 plays of the week. Let's see your plays for next week's Grade 8.
Performing their halftime program, please put your hands together for the Montville High School Pep Band.
Well, as we head into a brand new season on game day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. Welcome to Game Days, Week 1, Grade 8 Plays of the Week. Let's start off with the New London High School Whalers. Quarterback Kiki Irizarry. Into traffic, Zuri Craig comes down with the touchdown. Whalers win 25-2 in Bobby Sanchez's coaching debut. New quarterback in Waterford, no problem. Jax Higgins, 51 yards to Devin Powers. 5 touchdowns for Higgins in his first varsity start at quarterback. New quarterback, how about a new name? Montville, the Wolves. Arian Castillo, 65-yard, pick 6. Take it to the house as the Wolves howl with a victory for Montville. Let's move over to East Lyme. Aiden Patterson, touchdown run to tie the game at 21 against Northwest United. Cuts it outside, heads down the sideline. Nobody's going to catch him, not even the guy sliding. Touchdown, Vikings, 84 yards to the house. Lots of news in the grade 8. How about a new turf field? Griswold with the beautiful home digs. And Kyle Montigny says, look at me go! 80 yards right up the chute, putting people in his dust. He's so fast, he can't even stay on his feet. Griswold wins. Massac of Monroe opening the second half by popping the champagne. Jason Champagne, 82 yards, helping Massac pull away from Killingly in the second half. Big victory on Killingly's home field. Let's go to girls soccer. Jordan Fabry, 42-yard free kick to secure the 1-1 tie with Bacon Academy. How did that go in the net? But not to be outdone. Brant Leonetti of East Lyme uses his head and the bicycle. He had a bicycle into the corner, and the Vikings win 8-0. Those are your great 8 plays of the week. Don't forget to submit all your plays, and maybe you can make next week's grade 8. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Days Grade 8. The best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Grade 8 of the week.
Since I was a little kid, even in elementary school, I would just always buy really big books, and I wouldn't even read it. I would just look at the pictures of space and astronomy, and that was just so interesting to me, the stars and what's beyond. And I think I've kind of developed a keen on engineering because I'm very good at mathematics and science. So I've just kind of honed it down and realized I want to do something with space. I want to launch rockets into orbit and beyond.
Oh, I think, Gianni, when you talk about, people say they want a certain player to represent your program. I mean, he's the one. From an academic point of view, the classes that he takes up there in the school, his class ranking, things that most high school senior football players don't care about, he does. Part of the robotics club.
I've always wanted to become an aerospace engineer. And with robotics, it's really, really close to what I want to do. It's mechanical engineering, and I've been using CAD softwares and design to help engineer a robot. So it's very, very close and aligned to my career goals. Currently what we're doing in robotics is I'm helping revise a gearbox that I constructed during the actual build season. So what's happening is the motor is overheating because there's not enough torque in the gearbox to help lift an arm up and down. So I have to revise the gear ratio and also revise certain parts of the gearbox frame because the entire thing could just shatter into pieces and the motor could even overheat and turn on fire, which was a concern during the actual build season. So I have to make sure that doesn't happen. I think one of the very common areas is dividing and conquering between your the groups of, like, and teams. So like for offense, you have the offensive line, you have all the running backs, you have the tight ends and the receivers. On the robotics team, you have design, mechanical, software, marketing, and electrical. So there are 5 different teams, and you have to all work together in unison to create an entire robot, just like how an offensive line and the running back at the QB form an offense, like form the offense themselves.
He's someone who's going to be successful coming out of the program. You know, he wants to continue to play football. We know he's going to do really well in school. He wants to go to a school that's challenging to him. And so again, that sets a precedent for some of the other kids that are here. That, listen, this is what you can do coming out of here if you put the work in, both up on the hill and then down here in the athletic arena.
We're back at halftime, 27-0. The Wolves on top of the Colonels. And that means it's time for 3 pounds of pasta. I get to ask 3 questions, each 16 ounces of our coach, Pasta Sanabria, and he gets to answer in only the fashion that he can. So, Pasta, my first question, Ledyard was as sort of disorganized as we've ever seen them.
Yeah.
Really couldn't get anything going. What food do you struggle with that you feel like you should like, but you really don't because it just doesn't sit right with you?
You know what? If people say that, after a day or two, the food gets more intense with flavor. But, after 4 days, or it's something like it just kind of gets hard. That's the thing that really kind of gets me. You can't microwave it. You can't do anything about it. So it's not particularly the meal. It's just the duration or the time. If you keep it in too long and it's not going well, you got to get rid of it. So I would say probably like a hard penne or spaghetti that's been kept in a plastic bag for a hot minute. That's something that kind of makes me feel icky.
Well, yeah. I mean, in general, spoiled food is not the way to go in general. But okay. Well,
when you think about the gameplay today, that's what kind of hurt me was like it was, they have people in the right position, but they just were not playing with that zest, that freshness that coming on the field like Montville did. I mean, they showed a lot of energy. They were ready. They were like a fresh-made meal, and these guys were just holding back. Something about that really got me.
All right, pound number 2.
Gotcha.
Everything went right for Montville in that first half. The fumbles bounced their way. Mm-hmm. The receivers were running open. The catches, everything went right. It was almost a perfect half for the Wolves. If you could have a perfect meal anywhere in the world made by anyone in the world, what would be the perfect pasta meal?
This situation, I kind of categorize them, and it does kind of blend with their uniforms. They were like a fresh-made lasagna. The layers, everything had a part to work with the other. So it's like this team. Their offense was gelling well, running some explosive plays. Their defense was playing sound. They were like that meat sauce, just binding everything together. And all those turnovers were just the flavor of their mentality. They were playing well today like a big, fresh pot of lasagna.
But where would you go for this lasagna? Who would make this lasagna for you?
I can go to New London and just open my heart and be like that. I think we have the families in New London that would do that.
Well, I will tell you. Your former athletic director, Mr. O'Neill, makes a fabulous lasagna based off of his mother's lasagna recipe, Grandma Aggie. And I'll tell you right now, he would have you down for lasagna anytime.
I would be delighted and humble for that one.
Nice 4-layer lasagna.
Oh, man.
All right, we're down 2 pounds. Let's cram down a third.
Get the third one in. I might have a little agita, but we'll do it.
Pound of pasta.
All right, here we go.
Sometimes you have to balance what you want to do with what you can do, and with what the night presents to you.
Right.
Ledyard down 27-0 and gonna, kind of figure things out at halftime. If you could be in the mind of Ledyard, and you could give them 3 points to improve on in this half, what would the 3 points you would have Ledyard improve on?
Well, definitely the first thing is, I would say, ball security. There's nothing more important than that. Bind your brotherhood based on that snap. The center sets the tone for everything, so you're acknowledging your center. This is your responsibility. Take it and hold it. make sure that quarterback gets the responsibility to just do the handoffs or the coordination of the pass play. So that's one. Secondly, tell your offense, they have some plays that are very effective. Your offensive line is doing some good things, but you have to get rid of the 3rd and longs. And thirdly, your defense is playing sound. You held them a couple of times from scoring. So keep on playing the defense, but also know how to coach that defense in certain situations so you don't get bit by the big play. Eliminate that big play, and you have a close game to at least compete and show that you can progress or even show a comeback in tonight's game.
Now you know me, right? You know me. I'm a stop and smell the flowers kind of a guy, in the moment kind of a guy, and it doesn't matter if it's roses, daffodils, or a nice lily. I do like a nice lily.
Lilies?
Tulips, but I like lily. Lily is the way to go.
Yeah.
And if I was, to stop and smell the lilies, right now, and I'm Tanner Grove from Montville.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get my team to stop and smell the lilies.
Yeah.
What's my message to them right now?
Well, you show your potential. You guys have had, some struggles through your early years, and now you're showing that you can play competitive football with a quality football program and learn how to continue to keep momentum on your side, which is the hardest thing they've done in the past couple of years. So I'm really happy that, he could say to his team, I'm proud of the first half efforts. We're not done yet. We still have to play this kind of football full speed for the second half.
All right, can I jump in here for a little extra helping?
Yes, you can.
So,
this is the extra bowl of pasta.
So, Casey, you were praising the atmosphere here at Montville High School, and I think a big part of that atmosphere is the aroma of the concession stand right behind us.
I'm going to open up on that one. That's good.
So, I want to say that Montville High School is a top 3 concession stand for me, and I would pose to you guys your number 1, or if you want to go top 3 concession stands in the ECC.
Woo. All right, so I'm going to start off the bat by saying that the distance to the concession stand weighs heavily when you're me. So Killingly, one of the best Killingly might have the best concession stand, except it's 4 towns away.
It's in a new zip code.
So I end up eating all the bake sale treats because it's right outside the booth. But I do think Killingly top notch. But how about Fitch? Fitch has got to be right up there. It's next to the shed with all the writing on it. You can smell the burgers coming all the way from there.
Big open pit grill where they're cooking the burgers.
That's a good spot.
So Fitch also in my top 3.
Definitely.
Man, we're gonna have to come back to this one.
What?
Turney's kicking off to start the second half. We'll come back and finish our concession stands. Good return here for Ledyard. Out across midfield to the 40-yard line goes Barbosa, and that Colonels, hey, you said, tale of two halves, right? You might not be able to win the game, but you can come win this half.
A great start,
and
definitely.
It starts by getting the ball into the territory.
Great start.
All right, I think we both agree on Fitch, and Montville's in your top 3.
I got one, though. I got one, but it's not in the high school level. It's the youth level. I got to say, Westerly's concession stands with the sausage and peppers.
Westerly's tough.
They rock some good food over there.
That's solid.
Yeah, especially on a winter postseason flavor.
That's pretty good. The Cougar Burger up in Colchester's good with the onion ring on it.
I'm gonna have to try that.
First down, Colonels. Curse under center. Handoff, big hole, and a nice run on first down by Hayward, and he gets all the way up past the 35-yard line. So there's a downhill play on first down, something that Ledyard struggled with in the first half, and right off the bat, they get a big gain.
Definitely a good start with the offensive line creating that kind of push. That's the attitude that you have to have coming out in the second half, is just to go out there and dominate and do what you do best.
So give him 9. Biggest play for the Colonels. They've had more problems than you can even name. Hayward in the backfield. And that ball's loose on the turf. Another fumble. If Ledyard gets it, which they did, it will be enough for a first down. So a positive play. One of the linemen, I think it was either Tebbets or Russick, got the fumble recovery, but that's the 6th.
I'm going to go old school with you, Casey. I think we need to go back to, I believe, was it Mercury Hayes, the one that used the stickum for the Raiders?
Yeah, definitely need some pine tar on the hands right now. Yeah. First and 10, Colonels. Motion, handoff, Hayward, and he tosses it back to Curse, and that was a mistake. That play goes backwards. Loss of 8, and Montville is swarming and feeling it all the way, turning in on the tackle for the Wolves.
Yeah, they're trying to do something positive and not really in a disciplined manner. Things like that can cost you, a lot of yardage right there. But again, great defensive calling. They're just still bringing pressure from the inside, causing that disruption in the exchange zone.
2nd and 16 for the Colonels. Streckfus in as the running back now. Motion, Curse, hands to Streckfus, nothing there. Back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard.
Case, this Montville defense is just aggressive on these plays now. Coach in the beginning didn't call that blitz play that he did in the beginning. 2nd and 3rd down, he was just coming right after him. They're really just forcing him to commit to throw. I mean, any defensive coach can do that right now. Force him to throw the ball.
3rd and very long. Streckfus remains as the running back. Johnson in motion. Curse runs option, nothing there. Hit immediately and brought down. Another loss on the play. Shooting in was Bosa, and it's going to be 4th and long for Ledyard.
4th down and 19 for Ledyard.
4th and 19. What a promising start to the second half with the kickoff, and then backwards from there.
I'm really impressed with Demetrius playing, both sides of the ball and now rotating in with special teams. But, boy, he's been moving all day long.
Finn Scully in to kick it off, in to punt it. Handles a low snap, and it takes a good bounce for Ledyard, and it's picked up by Yard, and not much there. So Montville will be deep in their own territory at their own 10-yard line. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. Part of our commitment to serving our patients includes providing information that helps them make more informed decisions about their oral health needs. This website, waterforddentalhealth.com, is a resource we hope you'll find both useful and interesting. 177 Boston Post Road in Waterford. It's Waterford Dental Health. All that's good begins with a smile. Go down Waterford Dental Health. 27-0 Wolves. Worst field position we've seen for Montville at their own 10-yard line, but a 27-0 lead here in the second half. Johnson operates on 1st down, gives it to Aponte up the middle, bouncing off a tackle, and still not much there. The center of the Ledyard line has been stout tonight.
Yeah, definitely they have been physical in the middle. Just a perimeter play right now. With that defense, you definitely give some gaps in the perimeter play there. But again, it's a good run defense and a great stop.
They'll give Aponte 2. 2nd and 8. Montville very content. Tick, 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 tick. The clock will run, and they will gladly let it do so. So 2nd and 8. Johnson from the shotgun. Bunch receivers to his left. And we're going to get a flag. It's going to be a false start against Montville, something we have not seen much from them. They have been relatively penalty-free. Montville has played a much crisper game. So, Peter, I got Fitch and I got Montville, who's also in the top 3.
So, if I'm going to round out my top 3, it's Ledyard. And it might just be the number of cold, rainy, windy nights I've spent there and warmed up with a nice fat burger.
Yeah.
But that's another one of those.
They have a switch out there to turn the rain. You just want to let you know.
They got the open pit grill. There's always a cloud of smoke.
That's a good
onto the field.
That's a very good call, and I'm going to tack on something to that in a moment after we see Montville 3rd and 14. Johnson, excuse me, 2nd and 14. Johnson is going to throw. Throws into double coverage. It's tipped and incomplete. He was taking a shot down the field, but nothing there. So I have to say, Ledyard's a great call because one of my favorite things about going to Ledyard is that our guy, administrator, athletic director Jim Bunicor, always takes such good care of us, and the press box is always filled with delectables from the concession stand, whether it's mozzarella sticks, chicken tenders, some burgers. And he always brings up a big tray of it and says, have at it. And I may or may not have eaten that third burger just because it was in the tray. So I'm with you on the Ledyard as well. Ledyard, for me, Ledyard, Fitch, and Killingly. Third down, Johnson throws on a rope, complete in the flat. Tackle made very quickly by Cassavant. It's going to be well short of the first down. 4th and 7, and Montville will send Turney in to punt.
Short gain on the play, 4th down.
This Montville concession stand, atmospherically, I'm using a word that I just created.
That was pretty good.
Atmospherically, it does add to the. I mean, right now the band and the cheerleaders and the lights and the new logo, the new.
I love the entrance in the middle. How
Yeah.
you walk into the center, you get the fan base to come right into the center where the players will come in.
Yeah, since most
before the game starts.
most schools won't even let you go in the middle of the field
No,
anymore.
not at all.
Good snap, Turney. Kind of shanked that one a little bit, and that's going to give Ledyard great field position. So Ledyard, their best success so far has been defensively.
Yep.
And they're going to be in good field position. They're going to mark it at about the 35-yard line.
Definitely one of their best field positions so far.
6:33 remaining. Ball's going to be at the 27-yard line.
Seems like the guys are showing signs of fatigue and cramping.
Out on the field for an injury.
And we got an injury on the field, so 27-0 Montville. 6:33 remaining here in the third period. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. 6:33 remaining here in period 3. 27-0 Wolves on top. Ledyard with the football at the Montville 29-yard line. That's where they'll set up shop here. Ledyard has really not put anything consistent together offensively. It's been a series of fumbles lost and penalties and busted plays. Last drive, they had a little something going until penalties doomed them, and here they go on first down with Curse. Motion with Johnson and flag on the play. We're going to get a offsides penalty against Montville. So they have had Aponte, as you've said, blitzing and shooting that gap every time. I think that time they drew him off with a little hard count.
Yeah, no, they're mixing it up. The good thing that Ledyard's doing is they're going on different cadence sounds, knowing that that pressure could be neutralized that way. You know, but also when you have pressure like that in the middle, you know, we like to jump on offense and do some quick screens and bubbles, get them out of that call.
1st and 5. If Ledyard was ever going to throw the ball, now would be a time to do
Definitely.
it. 1st and 5.
Flip a quarter in the air. Let's see what happens.
Ball at the 25. Hard count again. Curse. And he's going to throw. Throws it and incomplete. Was looking for Johnson on the wheel route, and it was not there. But I thought he was going to go for Scully single coverage on the outside.
Well, there was the matchup right there, and I think Scully did have advantage. He just rolled out, and that's part of the option scheme of movement for a quarterback. You have to run the fakes before you get your posture to throw the ball. He just didn't have enough time, and he didn't see him with that outside pressure coming too.
So it'll be 2nd and 5. Ball still sits on the 25. Streckfist is in the backfield now for the Colonels. Hand off to Streckfist, big hold. Streckfist in the open. Streckfist high steps it into the end zone. Touchdown, Colonels. Miles Streckfist gets him on the board.
Definitely a good blocking scheme right there, and he ran right through the hole, wide open, all the way through.
And that's exactly what the Colonels need. Popped the big play, got the big hole, and Streckfist rhymes with breakfast. And he had himself a little bit of a sandwich.
That's right.
And that's what they needed. They needed to eat. The Colonels desperately needed to eat.
This is something that can really motivate their edge right now and see if they can have another good defensive series. You know, this is where Montville has to learn that they just can't be complacent because they're up 27. You know, this type of football seasons, you know, people can score points really quick.
Green will hold. Scully will kick. It is up. It is off the upright. Doink. And back in. And 27-6 is your score, because when it's going wrong, even the little things, that doinks and goes back into play. 6:21 remaining in the third period. 27-6 Wolves. Get you some out-of-town scores. North Haven 37, Fitch 14. This was a week 3 test for Fitch to find out where they stood against the rest of the state. That's the defending state champions in North Haven, and they are putting a thumping on the Falcons. Griswold 22-7 over Woodstock as they look to bounce back with another win. New Britain 14, NFA 7, so NFA hanging around with their very difficult out-of-conference schedule. They're hanging in there with New Britain. But that Fitch North Haven game, North Haven who forfeited their week 1 game, and it came right back and is, you know, all cylinders firing already. Beautiful kick from Scully. Drives Chrisman deep, and he's brought back at his own 15-yard line. So Ledyard right now, you talked about win this half, right?
Right.
Defensive stop, offense scores.
Yep.
Good special teams.
And field position added on to this, which is great. You know, when you have a special teams kickoff team that can get them to go inside the 20-yard line statistically, and I learned this from Jack Cocker, says the drive that they have can consider to incorporate more mistakes that they won't be able to complete it, so the ratio is lower for them to score. So keeping them in this situation, forcing them to 3rd and long, and then trying to keep that ball inside their side of the field can give more opportunities for the Colonels to score points quickly.
So as Montville approaches their next possession, there's a flag on the play. It's going to back them up even farther. So this is interesting. You talked about, you know, field position off of those fumbles in the first half. Montville was in Ledyard territory consistently.
Right.
A little bit different now. This ball is going to be at their own 7-yard line. So if you can, you know, you're Ledyard, now it's time, right? Dial it up.
Got to dial it up.
Johnson stands on the shadow of his goal line. Wants to throw on 1st down. Zips it into double coverage, and it's complete to Riley Byer for a 1st down to the 20-yard line. Great throw and even better concentration and catch.
What a clutch throw. He saw the pressure coming, but he stayed right in the pocket, hit that ball full speed, got him right to the target real quick. Got lit, and then he stood back up and jumped there and said, "Coach, what's the next play?" That's the kind of attitude you want in your quarterback.
That's one way to get the ball out of your own end zone
quickly.
Is throw it dime to your favorite target. Byer comes off the field for a play. Johnson has trips right and Aponte standing to his left. Hands off to Aponte. Reverses his field and dragged down after a short gain. Not much there. Streckfist and Donovan Green in on the tackle.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10.
This offense has to realize right now that this is an important series for them. To get this ball over the 50 will be a successful series just so that they can get out of the hole.
So 2nd and 10, Montville, ball at the 20-yard line. The trip receivers to the right this time. Johnson taking his time, fakes it to Aponte, pressured, rolls right, looking downfield, holding, throws, and complete right on the sticks to Yard. Yard got lost.
Oh, man.
Right at the sticks and goes forward, first down Wolves.
Well, when the rollout passes, you want your pressure to get there quickly. That took over 5 seconds. The quarterback had plenty of time, and the receiver made a nice catch, tippy-toeing inside the line and gaining some yardage. Wow. Plays like that, brother, we always tell our defensive backs, stay on your man, jump on anybody that gets into your zone. And at that play, they probably were looking at the quarterback running and completely forgot the receiver at that time.
What a great job by Johnson, keeping his head up the whole time with his, position to throw.
Yep.
And Yard just got lost, and to his credit, went right to the sticks and sat.
Yep. No, he's confident. He's rolling the ball today right now, Johnson.
First down, Wolves. Clock runs at, stopped rather at 5 minutes and 1 second here in the third period. First down, Wolves, trips to Johnson's left. Hands it off. Helmet comes popping off of a Ledyard Colonel, and Aponte gets a couple of yards, maybe a yard and a half. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
1 yard gain on the play.
So I'm going to throw this question out there to both of you. It's not for an immediate answer. We are going to revisit this question when we are in between the third and fourth period. What is the most overrated concession stand food? And what is the pleasant surprise when you see it? And it could be specific. You could say, for example, when I go to Westerly and they've got the sausage and pepper grinder, you can, wherever you want, if there's a place and a special thing that you look forward to. But what's the most overrated concession food? I will get to that. We'll go to that between the third and fourth periods. Johnson has time. Deep ball into double coverage, and it's just out of the reach of Byer. I think he heard Scully's footsteps.
Definitely.
And also lost it in between the defenders. It'll be 3rd and long for Montville.
That looked like a catchable ball. But at the same time, when we see receivers going and looking at it, it could have been light that kind of reflected, caused them to lose sight on that. I remember when Montville back in the days had the orange lights, and it was barely lit. And to see a catch like that would have been a great event, but very close play.
I'm so old, I remember when they played by candlelight.
Wow. That's classic.
Headlights off the Model Ts.
Headlights off the Model Ts cranking.
3rd and long, 3rd and 9. Trips left for Johnson as he operates out of the shotgun, standing on his own 30. Gonna throw. Has it over the middle, airmails it, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Donovan Green. Green is in the Montville territory all the way down towards the 30-yard line. And there's the pass that Johnson has not made tonight. Ill-advised, overthrown, and Ledyard 27-6 in Montville territory.
He was forcing something there that was not there to begin with. Again, maybe trying to feel comfortable in the pocket and thinking that was going to be something that he could attain. Didn't happen. Now, again, Ledyard still has good field position. If they could find a way to execute some plays and get some points, this could be a close game. This third quarter has been running for quite some time.
3:55 remaining in period number 3. We saw Streckfus with the big touchdown run. Now we've got Hayward in his running back. Motion, handoff, Hayward breaks a tackle, leans forward, reaches out the football as he crosses the 30 to the 28-yard line. Good gain on first down for the Colonels.
Hayward on the carry, 5-yard gain on the play, 2nd down and 5.
Ledyard with some urgency right up on the football. Good hard count. Handoff goes again to Hayward. Big hole up the middle, and he drags Wolves with him. He'll have a first down, and they'll move the chains, and Ledyard in business.
Boy, those big guys, Benjamin Ruchick, number 70, and Matthew Tebbets, number 60. Boy, they're making a wall and pushing it downfield and getting some open lanes for the running back.
Heading down to 3 minutes here remaining in the third period. Ledyard changing formations, and they don't know what they're doing, and so Coach Siricchio is going to take a timeout.
3 minutes, 4 seconds.
With 3 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in period 3, Ledyard with a key drive. We're going to take a break. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Day's Great 8. The best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Great 8 of the week. First down, Colonels on a drive that hard to believe if they can, convert on this drive. They're still in this game. Montville was all gangbusters in the first half, 27-0, but the Colonels scored on their last possession and now are moving. Ball spotted at the 22-yard line, first down. Handoff again to Hayward. Good gain, 4 yards on first down, and Ledyard, this is the Ledyard offense we're used to.
We're looking for. You're right. The Ledyard offense that really produces the 4 yards pop, trying to grind down and make the defense get tired. This is the kind of attitude that we're looking for the offense.
Streckfus back in at running back. He, of course, has the 1 touchdown for the Ledyard so far. 2nd and 6. Curse under center. Gives it to Streckfus. Streckfus reverses his field a little bit and makes the cut back against the grain. Gets the first down inside the 10. It's going to be first and goal, Ledyard.
I'll tell you, this moon that's so eerie right now with the cloud is like, all we're waiting for is a werewolf. But that's the type of game that we're seeing today. It's just two halves, two sides of what's going on right now, and it seems like it's favoring Ledyard.
Streckfus is going to limp off the field here, and Ledyard will have a first and goal. One thing we have not seen from Ledyard is that outside run we saw over the past couple of years. We've been seeing the fullback dives, Hayward and Streckfus, but we haven't seen that speed on the outside, which we often get from the wing.
Well, the defense really is the reason why. They're playing some edge defensive linemen on some wide 9 techniques. Giving the off tackle up, that's where Streckfus scored a touchdown, but we'll see how they handle it right here.
First and goal, Hayward's back in at running back. Handoff, Hayward, he cuts it off left tackle, and he'll have a few yards. Going to get him inside about to the 5-yard line. We'll call it second and goal from 6.
So yeah, having those wide 9 techniques there, it makes the edge player definitely dominate the outside play or the option play. But now off tackle with the inside blitzing coming in there, it leaves that spot a little bit tender for them to attack.
Second and goal. Gives it again to Hayward. Hayward churning towards the end zone, trying to get pushed. He's pushed back by the interior of the Wolves defense. All going to depend on the spot. I think they're going to spot him down at the 1-yard line. Third and goal, Ledyard.
From Montville's 1-yard line.
That's the kind of attitude that we were waiting for the Ledyards to play today. I would say stick it right behind the big 70 and 60. Those two guys right there are doing a great job blocking.
They're going tight formation. Look for the quarterback sneak. Curse pushing forward. Gets his running back to push him forward. Waiting for the signal. Touchdown, Colonels. Jamel Curse in the end zone. And Ledyard has cut the lead in half.
Great drive for the Colonels right now. I know there's a little chart we used to have that Coach Bunacore dished to everybody, the 2-point conversion rules. Situations like this, would you go for 2? And, that was really helpful for all of us to communicate so that we could always have that personnel ready. So it seems like they might be going for 2 points.
I would go for 2 every time.
Every time?
Yeah, I wouldn't kick extra points ever. I'd go for 2. First of all, the success rate of extra points with snap, hold,
Yeah.
and kick isn't.
It's
probably 75%.
If you describe it in physics, it's really tough to do.
Ledyard going for 2. Hard count from Curse. Handoff, Hayward. Hayward pushing. They're pushing him in, and he is gonna. Is he gonna get there?
Yep.
Yes. 2-point conversion is good. 27-14. Ledyard making a little run at it, and that's why I would always go for 2. I think.
Yep.
Out of 10 extra points, I think kicking it, 7 are probably good, and I'm willing to bet that I can go 4 for 10 from 2-point.
That's a mathematical probability that works in favor for the 2-point conversion.
Depends on it depends on your offense. I think that at the high school level, it's even harder to stop a team on a 2-point
If you got a kid that transferred from some soccer school to kick a ball, then you go for it because that's a good thing to have. But you're right, it's really tough to search and seek a kicker in your team when most of your athletes are positional players. So it's a dedication that you have to put time in. If you don't do that, you're not going to be successful in the kicking game.
For me, it's not even about the kicker. It's the out of 10 snaps, how many are good snaps, how many are good holds, and how many times does your line hold up to a rush. And I don't think that even with the best kicker that they get it 7 out of 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about the kick. It's about all the other things that come along with it.
That's why it's 11 men in every situation. You have to fully execute what you have to do.
Touchback, Montville will take it.
I had my experiences at Del State, and I was told by Coach Collick himself, he said, Santa Bria, a snapper's a special thing, but if you snap it 15 yards high and 30 yards deep, there's only one way out of Delaware State University, 13 north or 13 south. And that was always preached to me that, and I had to make sure I practiced every single day on those little elements. And I was lucky that I pleased them for those 2 years I was there at Delaware State.
Montville, there's a big possession here for the Montville offense with 1:10 remaining in the third period. They've been outscored 14-0 in this period.
Yeah.
And it's partly because they have not had good field position.
No.
Let's see what they come up with here. Johnson's going to throw on first down, gives back to the short game, and it's off the hands of his intended receiver, Castillo, second down.
How important has the Colonels done well in the kicking game to get this field position established always inside that 30-yard mark, and that really something Montville has not been successful is treading the first downs anytime inside the 20-yard line, and their attitude coming out in the second half was just like, hey, we're doing our thing, but the execution play is not showing as much.
27-14, and Montville actually needs to have some urgency in this offensive possession.
Good fan turnout tonight.
And we're going to get a penalty. We're going to get illegal procedure against Montville, and that's going to back them up 5 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 15.
That's discipline right there. You got to be disciplined and line up right. Seemed like the outside receiver was not on the line of scrimmage and had too many backs in the backfield.
So Montville going in the wrong direction.
Is that the name of a group?
Wrong direction? That was actually the original name of the group.
Okay, good. That's my music for today.
Second and long here for Montville. Johnson gonna throw. Quick screen, it goes to Byer. Byer gets back the penalty and maybe a yard more. It's gonna bring up 3rd and 8 as we're under a minute remaining here in the third period.
That's what Johnson needs to do. See what the defense gives you. When they have quarters coverage or deep coverage from the quarter, that quick route is always gonna be there. Keep on chipping away. These are the things that they need to do right now. Chip away and get those first downs. Hold that clock on their side. Try to get some points as much as possible, but the goal is to get over the 50. They haven't gotten over the 50 in the second half at all.
3rd and 8. Bosa stands to the left of Johnson. Twin receivers both sides, Johnson to throw. Pressured, steps up and incomplete as he was just looking to get it off. He was popped by Tebbets right as he got rid of the ball. It's going to be 4th down, and that means that it's time for Cole Turney to punt it away, and Ledyard should have very good field position again.
That was a great 5-man blitz package there with some good under coverage. and they got to the quarterback, caused him to kind of stay and collapse inside the pocket and not run out. And that's what you want to do with Johnson, is collapse the pocket and keep him inside.
Something to note, freshman Andrew Bernier into punt. We saw Turney come off earlier, and I think that Turney is not, who is the normal punter, is out. Here's a snap. Freshman gets it off with some pressure and gets a good bounce. And it goes into Ledyard territory to the 44-yard line as we end the third period. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with some concession stand talk. Ledyard making a game of it. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Day's Great 8. The best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Great 8 of the week. It's little plays and sometimes the unsung guys that have to step up in the moment. And Andrew Bernier, the freshman, taking over for Cole Turney, who has been receiving some treatment for cramps on the Montville sideline. That was a huge punt, and to get that out, Ledyard will have it in their own territory. All right, Peter Wappy, what is the most overrated concession stand food?
Pizza. Because it was cooked an hour and a half ago at a restaurant, and it's been sitting there and it's stacked. No good.
All right, Pasta, what's the most overrated concession stand food?
All right, I'm looking for those tacos with the cold cheese on it. Just knows that after the game you're not going to feel good, Imodium AD style.
Curse on first down. And we're going to get a broken play. No whistle blown. And it'll be back to the original line of scrimmage as that ball was on the turf. I'm going to go with the pretzel because very few people are able to keep the pretzel warm. It's either got way too much salt or not enough salt. They don't provide you the mustard on the side of it. You got to get mustard packets.
Yeah.
The pretzel ends up just being cold, lukewarm dough with a lot of salt.
So how was your pretzel that you ate earlier?
It was fine. They did a nice job, but in general, the pretzel is not the way to go. 2nd and 10, Ledyard. Oh, big hit in the backfield. Another Bubukis. Loss of a yard. All right, Peter, what is the thing you look forward to, the sort of pleasant surprise concession stand food?
A nice bowl of chili, because you know that pot came from some grandma's kitchen.
It's an original crock pot. Yeah, that was a good one.
Pasta?
I love a well-done, healthy, good-smelling popcorn. With that yellow kind of oil that makes that flavor kick in just right. The salt added just enough, not too much.
3rd and long. After this play, I'll give you mine. Broken play again. Curse is going to keep it. Has some yards. Has a first down. Bounces to the outside and crosses deep into Montville territory to the 35-yard line. Jamel Curse. Montville feeling cursed as the broken play goes for a Ledyard first down. I'm going to say, for me, it's a roll of the dice, homemade clam chowder. Oh, because it's either outstanding, fresh from the pot, or I'm going to lose 6-7 pounds from the next step.
Yeah, the next step.
Is that a win-win?
It's a win-win either way.
Win-win.
It's either great chowder or a week in 180.
Yeah, I love the creamy clam chowder. You can't beat that.
First down, Colonels. That's a break that went their way. Curse is going to throw. Deep ball, and it's incomplete. He was thinking about Barbosa, but he was pressured, and it goes incomplete, 2nd down.
Yeah, that was a great play call at the time. It did have the vert that was wide open, and the safety was under it, but he just kind of threw it hard. At that time, you want to really touch it over the top, let him and lead and catch that ball. So
now, Peter, you mentioned the homemade mac and cheese. I would suggest that that's high on the list, too, because I believe that if it's homemade mac and cheese, it can be eaten cold, it can be eaten hot. As long as you see those breadcrumbs on top and you know it's the homemade stuff, I'm with you. 2nd and 10, Curse trying to lead Ledyard to within a score. Streckfus back in the ballgame in the backfield. Hands it to Streckfus, and he's hit, but he's pushed forward. Look at the big guys moving the pile. to the 40-yard line, the 30-yard line. That's going to be about 3 yards short. Ledyard's in 4-down territory here. So it's 3rd and 5, and they got 2 downs to get those 5 yards.
Well, the Colonel offensive line is doing their thing right now. They're playing that physical football that they're good at, and they're continuing to show that they want to kind of get that mental capacity and control over the Wolves.
Big back Streckvis. Hard count, trying to get him off. Streckvis gets it, and he is met in the backfield and brought down. We've called his name all night long. Senior Jack Babukis playing like Dick Butkus.
Boy, is he bringing it. You know, that's the second time he penetrated through the gap, did a nice rip technique under, got himself squared up. We always tell our defenders, once you get to the gap, square your shoulders and be prepared to get to the ball. And boy, did he wrap him up. Streckvis was not ready for that wrap-up.
I realized that 2/3 of our audience said Dick Butkus. Is that the guy that was in that sitcom in the 80s? Which is troubling on many, many levels. Look him up! 4th down, huge play for the Colonels. Curse, rolls, pressured, throws, has a man. Oh, he had Scully at the goal line, but he stopped running and it sails over his head. Incomplete, and the Wolves hold.
Boy, what an opportunity for the Colonels. Just lost on that one.
8 minutes, 36 seconds remaining in the game.
8:36 remaining in the ball game. A huge defensive stand for Montville. They get the ball back after Scully was open. Yeah. He had one-on-one coverage. He had the guy on the inside shoulder. The ball just needed to be put where it was, and he needed to run to it. I don't know whether he just got, sometimes you look up, you don't see the ball, the lights, you don't know exactly where you are, but a break for the Wolves. Johnson going to throw on 1st down. He has a man. It's complete to Byer. Byer makes a move and cuts it outside and gets it almost to the 1st down marker. But you see there, when Johnson gets it and gets rid of it right away, good decisive, and throws it, very catchable ball.
This is the experience of Tanner Grove and the years of playing this game and coaching this game. He knows that the defense is playing some high corners, and that is something that's going to be available for Johnson to attack and throw. And then all he has to see is that opportunity for the corners to step up, and once they do, there comes a play action. So his experience is dictating this kind of offensive series right now.
2nd and short. Johnson stands at the 35-yard line.
Johnson out of the gun.
Corners pressed.
Taking the time, waiting, hands it off. Wall goes nowhere as he runs into a wall by the name of Ben Rushik.
Oh, he's been putting it up tonight right now. That young man, big, strong, sturdy, uses his hands. He's been dominating the D-line and helping the offensive line out. Big Tebbets was right there as well.
So it's going to be 3rd and 5. Ball at the 37-yard line.
Big play for the Wolves right now.
Press coverage on the outside. Johnson's going to let the clock till he sees the official's hand go up. Looking for a quick slant, overthrows, incomplete. It'll be 4th down, and Montville will have to punt. So
good defensive series here for the Colonels.
And it will be freshman Andrew Bernier into punt again, as Cole Turney has been battling cramps. He is down on the Montville bench right now. And if you're a punter, I can't imagine anything more painful than trying to punt with leg cramps, knowing that you're going to cramp as soon as you do it. So Bernier got him a good punt the first time. He's only a freshman. Ledyard's coming after it. They've got everybody on the line of scrimmage. Snap is there. Here come the Colonels. He gets it off. It's a line drive. And oh, what a bounce it takes for the Wolves inside the 20-yard line of Ledyard.
That's a great job from the freshman. Seeing that pressure come, he knew he had to just take one step and pop it over. I think that's going to improve his average.
We're going to get a sideline warning against Montville, it looks like. So we should let you know that after the game, you want to follow Game Day CT on social media to see our pick for the Scient Federal Credit Union Top Play. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient Federal Credit Union. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and, well, help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. 6:38 remaining. A lot of time, but Ledyard is going to need to be efficient on this possession after the great punt from Bernier gets them pinned back to the 20-yard line. Hayward gets the handoff, and he is hit immediately. Ball's loose. Are they going to say it's down? It comes out of the pack. Montville came out of the pack with it, but they're going to say that he was down, and we have an injured Colonel on the play. And so they're going to attend to the injured Colonel, and while they do that, we're going to take a break. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
2nd and 10, Ledyard trying to mount a drive. They trail 27-14. Montville, all their scoring in the first half off of 5. That's right, 5 fumbles by the Colonels and 5 recoveries from Montville. But the second half, the Colonels have got a little something going. They've scored twice. And here they have a possession. Toss right. Botts. First down. Botts. Down the sideline. Crosses the 40-yard line. Dominic Botts gets the Colonels a first down.
That was definitely needed for the Colonels right now. Get a first down and keep this momentum going because the clock is still running and they need to get to the end zone a couple of times.
First down, Ledyard. Ball's on the turf. Kirsch picks it up, keeps it himself, and he's going to turn something out of nothing. That ball hit the turf again. I've lost count of how many times the miss snap between center and quarterback has occurred, but that time Kirsch picked it up and got 3.
Well, you see sometimes the cadence is being mixed up right here. So the center's thinking it's a quick count. Teams overall thinking it's probably a long count, and they're just not really focused on it right now.
2nd and 7. Handoff, Hayward dives forward towards the first down. It'll be short by a yard. It'll be 3rd and a yard into Montville territory at the 49-yard line.
Key situation right now for the Colonels to have to get this first down right here and then get right back on that ball. The Indians are stacked on their defense right now. Get ready to blow it up.
Handoff. Hayward, I think he's got enough for the first down. That should move the chains, and it will. Clock stops with 4:45 as they move the chains. Ledyard with a chance to get up on it, and we're going to have another injured player on the ground. This time it's a Montville player.
When it gets to this part of the game, you know there's guys that are, their energy's running down low and they're depleted, had a long day of school, you know, being on their feet. I mean, those are the cons of Friday night games, is that you're active while you're in school getting ready for a game, as opposed to a Saturday morning game where you can get a good night's rest. So, you know, that's why it's so important. We've always had our athletes carry a bottle of water throughout the school day and make sure that they nourish themselves properly before a game like this.
So while they attend to the Montville player, we've had our 3 pounds of pasta. We've had a couple of cups of other things. It's time for some lemon sorbet.
Oh, wow.
Lemon sorbet. It's a part A and a part B question. Part A is the current hot rumored couple in the world of sports / music is, of course, Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs and Taylor Swift. And my question is, A, are they a real couple? And B, on a scale of 1 to 10, how little do you care? Peter Wappy, I'm going to go with you first.
So well
Lemoncello to clean the palate right there. I'll tell you why I do care after this play on first down. And we're going to get a false start against Ledyard. Okay, here's why I care. I personally find Travis Kelce to be irritating. Can you imagine the song she could write about him?
That's the reason
That's
why
it.
It's a fad. That's
the only reason I'm interested.
All they need is 2 dates, and she's got 2 albums ready to rock and roll.
I can't imagine. Toolbox, the next song from Taylor Swift. Motion. Pitch right it goes to Bots. Bots breaks tackles and gets past the original line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up a much more manageable.
I think one of her albums will be called Tight Ends or Dead Ends. With the #1 hit, Travis, you broke my heart after you threw a touchdown on the seam route. Seems like you love me.
Second and 8. Kirsch is going to throw. Pressured. Keeps it. Rolls. Tries to get rid of it, and we're going to get a flag. Looks like that'll be intentional grounding as well. I don't know the last time I've seen 4 intentional grounding penalties in a high school game either.
Wow. I mean, he just seemed so nervous coming out of that rollout, and he wasn't even looking down the field. He was seeing the pressure come at him and hesitated. That's the kind of situation where you got to sit back and tuck the ball in and secure it, go for the next play. But now you pushed him back to a 3rd and seriously long situation, which, you know, the Colonels right now with their success ratio it's going to be pretty tough for them to do.
10-yard penalty and a loss.
10-yard penalty and a loss of down. It's going to be 3rd and long for the Colonels. Score from Weaver High School, Bacon Academy 49, Weaver 6.
Wow. There you have it.
Bacon will host Griswold next week, which should be a good one. Curse under center. Hands it off, Streckvis, and nothing there. Montville swarms to the ball.
No gain on the play.
And it's going to be 4th and long.
Down and 20.
That was a great job by Montville. First attack and following up.
Well, these Wolves defense has been rocking it right now tonight. Good effort, playing the stunt defenses and putting a lot of pressure in where they belong, and now making it a 4th and long.
4th and very long. Not what Ledyard wants. Doesn't suit the offense. Curse is going to be pressured, and he's crushed as he's hit the ball. It's loose. Big hit on Curse. Montville will take over. 2:42 remaining. He had no chance.
He got hit so hard. Wolfman Jack came out of his grave and howled at the moon. That was just a wonderful slant technique. Offensive tackle was not in a good position to take that inside technique, and he made a great play there.
And what did Wolfman Jack say when he saw that play?
Ow, ow, ow! This is the Wolfman Jack here bringing you live action over here. My Montville team is doing it.
Now, again, 2/3 of our listening audience is going, what's the radio?
Yeah.
Who's Wolfman Jack?
Wolfman Jack, yeah. The radio station.
2:42 remaining, Montville in Ledyard territory, and they can start to take some air out of this one. I'd be surprised if we didn't see Aponte getting a handoff here on first and second down. Johnson will stand at the 40 on first down from the shotgun. He's going to throw. Rolls. Throws it over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Yard, who is now cramping as well. And very little has gone wrong for Montville tonight. Cramping has been one of the few things we've seen. So while they attend to Isaiah Yard, we will take a break, and we'll come back in a few minutes. You're watching Game Day Live on theday.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
.235 remaining here in the ball game. Ledyard trailing Montville 27-14. The Wolves have the ball, 2nd and 10 at the 35-yard line as they threw it on. Now, I would be shocked if they throw it on second down.
Well,
but I was shocked when they threw it on first.
They've been really hungry. They've been hungry like the Wolves, and all they got to do is continue to run the ball like Duran, and get this clock down to get a victory.
No, Iran was actually Flock of Seagulls. So if they're going to run
Oh.
they want to run like so far away, like the Flock of Seagulls. If they're hungry like the Wolf, I'm good with the Duran.
Well, you're going to have to fly me to the moon on that one. Frankie
And
style.
Flag on play. Offside, encroachment against Ledyard. I'll move them up 5.
I think that Ledyard did a great job from the third quarter in to try to get that momentum back, and they established it. And Montville was coming in, hey, we're ahead of the game kind of lackadaisical. And then all of a sudden they realized that this was going to become a game, and they settled down to play the game where it's supposed to be right now. So that's why they have the upper hand tonight. Coach Tanner just has to work on ball control and secure this game. Don't want to make any mistakes. And he has a quarterback that can handle it.
Peter, where are we next week?
Waterford at Fitch.
Waterford at Fitch. That should be fun. Those two teams coming off of losses this week. So both of those teams will be hungry to get back into the column of the wins. Here, handoff. Aponte. Ball's loose. And the Colonels look like they have it. And they do.
It ain't over yet.
Someone check the footballs tonight.
Wow. Boy, I tell you, these balls have, what's that chemical that we used back in the day? Flubber? Remember that?
Flubber?
Yeah, that's that rubber you put on your shoes that they used to jump 10 feet high. Remember that?
No, I actually have no idea what you're talking about.
When you Google it, you'll be like, oh my goodness, Jerry Lewis.
Flubber.
Jerry Lewis was in a classic movie where he was a doctor that invented a synthetic thing you put on your soles. It was called flubber, and it made you jump twice as high. That's a stat that got you a little bit stumped there. Wow.
Occasionally,
occasionally
you blow my mind, and right there you definitely did.
Yeah.
Ledyard's going to have the ball on their own 25-yard line, 2:25 remaining. This is going to be interesting because they don't throw. Curse is out of the game, Power back in the game. Let's see if that's because Ledyard's going to try to put the ball in the air. Power, fumble, ball loose, and it's recovered by the Wolves. Aponte, who fumbled, recovers the fumble on the very next play, and we're right back where we were a minute ago.
The same blitz that he's been doing probably 100 times tonight, coming off that A gap, getting it to the mesh point, having a younger quarterback that didn't have that ball security, didn't have the reps, and as you can see, that intimidation caused the ball to come down, and he recovered it. Should have scooped and scored, but you know what? That was a good play for him to come and handle.
2:22 remaining. I would like to see ball security here from Montville. Johnson will stay in the shotgun. Hands it off to Wall. Wall reverses field, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and down at the 20-yard line where the clock will run.
Can I give you another out-of-town score? Are you interested in the Bristol Eastern Hill House score?
I am.
Because Bristol Eastern defeated Hill House 2-0.
Whoa, what a score.
Double in the gap in the third.
Wow.
Scored 2. 2-0. Really?
And I did double check that was a football game.
Thank you. A little fall ball, a little fall Legion action, you thought maybe? Clock ticking. Montville, second down. Johnson. And we're going to get another penalty. False start.
I see the bad moon rising on this one, as penalties have been shocking us all night long. Boom. Got some clearance, clear water revival on that one, brother.
So it'll be 2nd and 15, but more importantly, stopping the clock with 1:35.
Both teams have a chance to do some serious film studying, as they both have so many opportunities to improve on both sides of the ball. But tonight, I got to give credit to the Wolves, who have been playing more consistent tonight.
And this is going to be how the coaches present the things to their team, and I'll explain after this second down play here as Johnson stands at the 30-yard line. Gives it to Wall again. Wall is wrestled down, and a flag comes in. All right, so we can agree on the following things. I'm gonna say the following: agree or disagree. This game was ugly from both a penalty and turnover standpoint in both directions.
Yep.
So Montville looks at the first half and says we recovered 5 fumbles, we scored 27 points. Right? That's a huge positive.
Yep. Dominated field position.
But if I'm Coach Grove, I'm saying, what happened to us in the second half? And we couldn't move the ball. We had our own penalties and fumbles, and we got backed up. And so so there's that. And I would definitely say, you know what? Hey, some of the guys who came in and helped us out, like Andrew Bernier, great job stepping up. And I'd say, guys, this is why we're not a good football team yet, because we have to have more of this half and less of this half.
Definitely. Building consistency on it, yep.
Now, Ledyard's going to come out of this, and if I'm Coach Siricchio, I'm going to go, guys, you know what? That first half was the worst first half of football I've ever seen, but we came out and we won the second half 14-0.
Yep.
And that's something to build on for them. But I think both coaches are going to come away from this disappointed with a lot of their play. At least Coach, Grove comes away with a win, and Coach Siricchio comes away with a second half of positive. Johnson with the throw, and good coverage out there by Donovan Green. Incomplete, and
another thing I wanted to add to that is just definitely, Montville seems to have players that could step up and do their thing, and they have a really good quarterback. That kid is doing a phenomenal job tonight and doing that. But, conditioning, even though we're in week 3, It's so important to build your conditioning, because in the fourth quarter, when you have 2 to 3 key players that are cramping up and taking out, and you have to have a freshman to do something like that, it was great that he did that, but it didn't help out in favor on the Ledyard side, as the young quarterback had a hard time handling the kind of pressure he was seeing tonight.
So Johnson will go back in. It's going to be 3rd and long, and surprised that Montville's throwing the football and not just trying to get this thing to end.
There's still some rivalry going on between these two programs.
3rd and long. Wolves can throw it again. Over the middle. Tipped and incomplete. And it'll be 4th down. .117 remaining in the ballgame.
It's kind of shocked where you could sit back and have some good run plays and do the math. Obviously, it's an experience that you could just sit back and see that with 1:17 running the clock and forcing them to call timeouts would seal the deal. But now you put yourself in a situation where you can't run the clock, and you might give the ball back to Ledyard. There's still enough time to do something.
Bernier's going to punt, stands at his own 50. Ledyard's going to come after it. Low snap. Bernier fumbles it, and Ledyard's going to bring him down at midfield. And so with 1:10 remaining, the Colonels will have it at midfield. Another flaw we have seen tonight, Montville's long snapper has struggled, and if that's something opposing teams are going to see, I think you're going to see them come after punts.
Oh, the biggest thing I would say from here on is I would send the snapper, the quarterback, and the center out to do some exchanging and snapping to get this thing solid, because these are the things that are very critical in a turnover. Now, could have pinched Ledyard deep in their own backfield, but now all of a sudden now they're in midfield. So just a lot of things they got to work on both sides.
Power will be the quarterback. Ball's at the 48-yard line of the Colonels. 1:11 remaining in the ballgame. Hayward is the running back.
Lack of discipline in that one right there.
And Scully jumps. That'll back the Colonels up 5.
Brings it back 5 yards. First down and 15.
So Waterford at Fitch next week. Fitch coming off of what appears to be a pretty good thumping at the hands of North Haven, and Waterford losing a thriller to Stonington. That should be a good one, though. Those two teams offensively should be very good. Pitch right, it goes to Botts. Botts has the sideline, and he's tackled after a gain of about 8, so he gets back the penalty and a few more, maybe closer to 10. It'll be 2nd down.
5-yard gain on the play, 2nd and 5.
Yeah, Fitch trailing 58-28 with 4 minutes left in the game.
That Falcon defense, which we saw, by the way, wreck New London.
Yeah.
58 points. That's hard to believe. And we saw Ben Perry speak so glowingly about his defense. Clearly North Haven was tough.
It shows that some teams out there definitely have some good, well-run programs that could see schemes quick and learn how to change and adjust on the fly. That's some of the teams that we've noticed that have been successful, be able to adjust during the game.
Incomplete pass, 3rd down for Ledyard. Well, North Haven offensively was they were so good last year as well. They really brutalized teams physically, and that Fitch team looked so good against New London physically. Shows you just the level that North Haven's at. Pitch to Botts. Botts has the 1st down, and he'll be out of bounds where the clock will stop again with 45 seconds remaining. 1st down, Colonels. Ledyard comes up on the ball. 1st and 10. Powers, the quarterback.
A woo-saw moment as the offensive linemen still just don't have that discipline. Owing offsides right there. Man, those are things that definitely are going to be worked on during the practice.
I wish that every time they had ran 10 seconds off the clock for every penalty you get.
For every penalty after 2 minutes?
Yep. They do run the clock on the snap, though, so. First down, Colonels. Bots in motion. Powers to throw. Has time. One-on-one. Thrown and incomplete. He was looking for Donovan Green. Flag comes in. And that's going to be, looks like it's going to be pass interference.
Definitely he was on his back and trying to bring him down, so there was contact. They're discussing it right now.
Quickly now, in descending order from most to least, Ledyard's total offensive numbers, Montville's total offensive numbers, and penalty yards and fumbles. Which is the highest of those three numbers? I think there might be more penalty yards and fumbles than either team offensively accumulated. And that's with Montville scoring 4 touchdowns. It'll be a first down for Ledyard, 23 seconds remaining in the game. Of course, stay tuned after the game. You're going to want to check us out on all our social media. We're going to have the interview with our player of the game. Bots buried out on the edge, and that'll run the clock with 15 seconds remaining. And Ledyard's going to take a timeout. Why not? So 17 seconds remaining here in this one. Of course, game day is staring down all of your football games that we have this year, but also a big volleyball invitational, the classic on Indigenous Peoples Day at Mohegan Sun. Looking forward to 3 volleyball games with some teams from all over the state coming into Mohegan Sun. We're looking forward to that. Game day, of course, will have all your championship games, boys soccer, girls soccer, highlights from cross country, swimming, field hockey, everything on tap this year on game day. But football right now taking center stage. 17 seconds left. Ledyard has it second down, trailing 27-14.
So next week we're going to have our first natural grass game of the season, correct?
On the grass at Fitch, yeah.
That's right.
Powers to throw. Hit as he throws. It's in the air and it's complete. Down to the goal line. Caught by Barbosa. And Ledyard is going to have a chance to punch one more in. Give Powers credit. He was hit right as he threw that football.
Here's a good question. Do you think that natural grass would have changed the course of a game like this, knowing that fumbles are different on turf? I mean, like as you can see, we had our first fumble bouncing forward of all things after a snap, you know?
I'm willing to bet it would have changed it. I don't know how. Powers lost the ball, picks it up, and pushes into the end zone. Touchdown, Ledyard. With 4 seconds, the Colonels have cut it to 7. Peter, what time is that game at Fitch next week? Is it a 6:30 game? Doesn't matter. I'm just going to stroll in whenever, right at game time. For those of you out there, I'll share a secret.
Yeah, share it. Definitely.
I thought tonight was a 6:30 start. As I rolled into Montville at 5:45, thinking I was well early, I was impressed by the early arriving crowd, only to find out that, in fact, the game started 10 minutes later at 6 o'clock.
Thank God Peter texted you.
Ledyard going for 2, handoff, easy waltz into the end zone for Hayward, 27-22 with 4 seconds remaining. The Colonels just trying to get a little closer.
You were mentioning how, when we were looking at the game that Ledyard against Weaver, and how that game was not like what people thought it was. Things like this is why, I think when you look at the score tomorrow, you're going to say, oh, well, that was a well-played game, but there's a lot of things that they definitely need to work on both sides of the ball.
This game overall was neither well-played nor competitive as a whole. It was all Montville in the first half and pretty much all Ledyard in the second half, and it was
not really ever a competitive game. It's very weird how this one came to be.
Yeah, it's close. I'm still shocked at how 2-0, huh? One safety, and that was that.
Talk about a defensive battle.
Here's a good question. Can there be a game that a team could score 1 point in football? There is a historical fact about that.
I do think I did see that they gave the score 1-0 for the forfeit. Though that I don't think
that's probably it right there.
North Haven lost 1-0 in week 1. I don't know if that's the actual score that they'll get logged in on, but that's what the score went down in the when you went and checked the score of the game.
I guess you made my point.
So Ledyard's going to try to recover an onside kick, and they'll have time for one play if they do. Finn Scully, the kicker for Ledyard. Pooches it. And Montville will fall on it with no time coming off the clock. And Montville probably will take a knee, maybe throw it. Who knows? We'll see.
I hope he takes a knee. It's much deserved.
Four seconds remain. And it looks like Montville will go into a victory formation and take a knee to end this thing. And there you have it, your final score here at Montville High School. The Wolves 27, the Colonels 22. Stay tuned on our social media for the interview with the Montville with the player of the game tonight. And of course, join us next week from Fitch High School for Waterford Lancers at the Fitch Falcons. For the coach, Pasta Santabria, Peter Wappie, and the crew, I'm Casey O'Neill. Good night, everybody. You've been watching Game Day live on theday.com.